Warning, F-bombs are armed and will be dropped. Because I'm pretty fucking pissed this week. You might notice that this is a premiere and not a live stream. That's because I'm in FuckYouTubeJail. Because last week I supposedly handed out disinformation. Now, in the email, they called it misinformation. Well, they do that because they don't want to be sued just in case what I said was true. It's not about me specifically, it's about everybody. By lying and saying it's misinformation, we can't sue them. Nice. Which is why I have to do a premiere this week rather than a live stream. I'm sorry, and it is what it is. You know what? This is an interesting opportunity. See, you'll notice that I have one of the rifles in the background during most of my live streams. When they fall over, I don't touch them. Why? Because that would be handling the weapon. This isn't a live stream. Isn't that nice? This is a Kel-Tec Sub 2000. This one is chambered in 40 cal and is designed for Glock mags. Happily convenient, I carry a Glock. How about that? All right. These are nice little car carries. And in fact, mine is, I keep it in my car in a spot where I need tools to put it back in, but not to take it out. I can get it out pretty quickly. I just can't get it in very quickly. Which is why it's kind of annoying. But anyway, they fold over they're like that. Pretty simple, really. There's this little lever here that forms part of the, well, forms the entire trigger guard. Um, it is a Kel-Tec, and before you start talking shit, Kel-Tec's big problem is they're willing to try something new. Everybody else is like, well, no, that's new. We don't want to do it. And sometimes they knock it out of the park. And sometimes it's a complete disaster. This one is good. It's reliable. Um, I like it well enough. And it came in at a very low price point because it was used. One of the few things about these I don't like, and you can see this. See the metal right there, right? Shiny metal. Those are attachments I put on it so that I could put a sling on it. There's actually a photo of an Antifa carrying one of these around at a march. I particularly noted she must not understand how her gun works because I could see in the photo the clip was not properly inserted. I don't know what the hell is going on there, but moving right along. Oh, she did have it slung somehow. I'm guessing it has something to do with this notch right here that you can barely see. Right there. Probably just some 550 cord through it. I didn't like that. So I put these on instead. But it works. If you can get one of these, I recommend it. There's a G2 out there that has an upgrade kit, aftermarket kit, that allows the forward stock to rotate. Really cool. Like I said, when Kel-Tec does it right, they knock it out of the park. Next up is an AR-15. By the way, this one must be unloaded because it's folded. You cannot put a round in the chamber without it sticking out the end because the chamber actually folds up and away. It's the AR-15. you can't really tell, but the weapon is locked open and the mag has been removed. Basic utilitarian excellence at work here. Um, Actual iron sight, fore and aft, not folding sights, but it also has the Picatinny's because my upper receiver is an A2 UTE2, Universal Tactical Entry. Um, I really like this configuration. I wish other people had been willing to try it. All right, so I'm kind of going to start a little bit of a fight here, and I don't care because I know I'm right. You'll notice that there is a forward assist. That should be an absolute for everybody. I know, there's a million people out there that say that you don't need them. Well, one time, excuse me, two times, I fired an M16. One of the times I did need the forward assist. It was a dirty, dirty gun. That happens. This was at range, by the way. Um, I was like the third person to shoot that gun, and yeah, I had one fail to go into battery. It happens. Sometimes it's not even a matter of fault. A misfabricated round, a million other things. Papa Kerry carried M16 around in Vietnam, and he used his forward assist occasionally. One of my brothers ran off and joined the Air Force. The closest to actual combat he got was a range in Afghanistan. I'm really, really pissed. That little shit got to go to war and I didn't. But anyway, um, while he was in Afghanistan, he also had to use his forward assist. It's a thing. I know that in the testing in some lab somewhere, the only way they could get it to jam up that bad was tweak the round around. Okay, well, those things do happen in real life. You get a dirty gun, all right, or one maybe, yeah, and my guess is also dirty, sand and grit got into it for my brother. Papa Carey probably got dirt and sticks into his because he's running around in Vietnam and was not as well trained with the M16 as we are now. That's the truth, Dad. I'm sorry. That is the truth. If he were here to defend himself right now, he'd agree. Um, Volt assist is absolutely you got to have it because the one time you don't, it's going to go bad on you, and it's going to go bad very very quickly. As I said, I know there's some people that they've played with AR-15s, M16s, and others in some rough conditions, but at the end of the day, those were still laboratory conditions. You could stop and detail strip the gun, and that means take literally everything apart short of paint and metal and clean the shit out of it, and no big deal. Well, I couldn't do that off the range. My brother couldn't do it in Afghanistan, and Papa Carey couldn't clean the gun in Vietnam, even when he was off, even when he was at base camp. Right? He was too busy treating his Marines. It's also why his Marines usually cleaned his gun for him. Pro tip: take very good care of your medical personnel. And this is my everyday carry. It's a Glock 22, 40 caliber. I do have a 9mm drop-in barrel. You cannot get a 40 cal drop-in barrel for the Glock 17. I'm just saying. I will still be fighting long after you've run out of ammo. The car carry that Kel is going back in the car. The AR stays at home. I don't. Well, I take it with me to California, but other than that, it stays at a house because of California's stupid laws. I have to put a plug into it that prevents the mag clip from being removed. But other than that, and I have to put 10-round concealment mag in. But other than that, it's perfectly fine. I go back to California about once a month. Oh, on the subject of my AR, the grip is folding, does fold down, right? But that's not the reason I like it. I like it because it has, and this was the only one I could get at the time, has a compartment in the grip so I can carry cleaning supplies or tools or something else. I also have on the stock this pouch. Pouch is big enough to carry two 30-round mags plus a bang out plus the forward adjustment sight tool. And if I got one of those mags out, clips out, I could put a small can of CLP in there. I put this one together this way so that I could literally grab this, walk out the door, and go straight to a war. And pretty much exactly like that. I came within about 3 blocks of going into a war zone last summer. Not last summer, the summer 2020. So I'm just saying, it's a real thing. All right, back to the rest of my rant. I want to assure you the one thing I have is the truth. So I have to stick to the truth. Literally, that's it. That's all I got. Um, when I tell you X is not a thing, or it is a thing, I know this to be true because I went back and double checked. The thing that I talked about last week that got me in trouble, all right, I tell you the truth, I wanted to believe it. Part of me wanted to believe it. Um, but I had to be sure that yes, this thing being claimed is true, and I couldn't verify it. So I told you that I believed it was false. Fuck YouTube called that misinformation. It's kind of curious. I'm going to lean into this a whole lot. Withholding medical treatment is first-degree murder. Withholding medical treatment is first-degree murder. Withholding medical treatment is first-degree murder. Fuck YouTube will not let me talk about some medical treatment options that are real. They are proven. They are true because they don't like it. Well, tough shit. YouTube is guilty of first-degree murder. Here's I am out of tea. I don't know how else to say this, ladies and gentlemen. The truth has to start coming out sooner or later. It's gotten to the point where even the lies are built on lies. It's I don't understand. All right, There is a certain individual who works for a computer information uh, magazine. When certain medical information started to seep out during during 2020, this individual ran straight to YouTube and said, "You've got to shut down any talk of this subject," and named the subject. Now, I know I can't talk about this because they've hit me for it before. I actually managed to sneak it onto the channel for about a week. Uh, this guy's behind a video about cute kitties. The beginning was cute kitties, then the middle part was the actual video, and then it closed out on the cute kitties. It is what it is. They still caught me. Damn. Here's the question I have for you, Davey. How did you know what to tell them they can't talk about unless you knew already what was being spoken of? So yeah, you little cunt. You're guilty of first-degree murder, and fuck YouTube is guilty of first-degree murder for going along with you. And unlike Scott, I do know that I am speaking of a female. You're a cunt. I would tell you what I'm really thinking. But apparently that's a felony. Felony to say those words out loud. So, it is what it is. Now, I know it's not popular to speak the truth these days, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. I would rather be hated for telling the truth than loved for telling the lies. Because as you're dying, you will damn my name forever for lying to you and putting you in this position. That is the truth. You don't like it, I don't give a shit. I really fucking don't. I do know the truth. YouTube will not let me tell you the truth. That's fine. That's on them, not on me. All right. I guess this is going to be kind of a short premiere because I'm at 20 minutes and I'm done with that part of the rants. Yeah. Next topic. Watch your language. There are certain words that are so vulgar, even I won't use them. And I've used every single racist, sexist, homophobic, and I forgot the other one word there is. I literally refer to myself as a kike and nigger faggot because I have black and Jewish ancestry, and because I like fucking girls in their asses. I'm okay with it. And I'll tell you the truth. First time I got called kike and nigger, I really, really, whoa, boom, whoa, dude, the fuck is your problem? But you know what? After a couple days, I got over it. Now I think it's funny. I really do. I think it's absolutely hysterical that somebody was so blinded by this hate that he thought that that would, what, get me to kill myself? Or, or get me to delete my account? Or at least shut me up? No, no. Not the way it works, bro. Especially since those of you who know the incident in question, you know that that was my real name. Pro tip, do not log into discuss.com from your Facebook account. Oh, oh, and I swear this is just tea. Oh, damn it. Forgot to left my cigarettes outside. Oh well. The word that I am so pissed off about right now is bootlicker. God, that is a truly offensive word. It is. If you use that kind of language, you use it once because you were being kind of stupid, I might forgive. Um, don't ever do it again. Don't use that kind of language. That is truly, truly unacceptable language. I'll go one step further. There's a gentleman on Discord who said, "Well, it's not as bad as cocksucker." Yeah, actually, it is. It's worse. I'd rather actually be called a cocksucker, to be perfectly blunt. I've been called that so many times I don't even, it doesn't register anymore. Some of you out there think that it's funny to attack people in your own camp because they're not 2A enough for you and call them BLs. Go fuck yourself, right? The knife that you stuck in all of our backs because we say, wait, well, wait, hold up a second. There's a certain degree of responsibility and reasonableness that you need to meet. No, you just figured, yeah, fuck them. Stick a knife in all their backs. Well, fuck you, bro. I don't give a good goddamn if the two of you are veterans. One of you isn't. The other one is. Um, that's unacceptable language, and you knew it when you said it. You, you know, a word's got to actually be vulgar if I'm if I have a problem with it. It's got to actually be vulgar because I'm a fucking trench rat, right? I eat dead bodies because they're there. I don't give a fuck, right? I'm probably slightly mentally ill. You know, actually, I am slightly mentally ill. It's called PTSD. Um, doesn't bother me. None of the shit that will bother a real, apparently, human being, unlike an Untermensch like me. Um, well, I'm an Untermensch. I'm a trench rat. I don't. It doesn't bother me. It just doesn't. What bothers me is people dying because I would not join your stupid little campaign to repeal a law that does not need to be repealed. Needed to be done correct the first time. It wasn't. That's not the point here. Okay, coming up on 30 minutes now. Um, this is a general call, and I do this from time to time. Um, if you are a gun control supporter, come on in, talk to me. All right, you'll find that I can be actually a pretty nice guy. As long as you don't lie to me. Don't lie to me. Come on in. Let's talk about it. You might be shocked to find out there's something you could say that might actually be helpful. 90% of the changes that I've made to Dallas Law over the last 4, 5 years, 4 years, really came from critics, right? A small one, like the definition of firearm, came from a critic who pointed out that uh, Captain Kirk's phaser is not a firearm under the law, and therefore either is not protected or is not included. The guy was kind of a intellectual, but he made it very clear that it wasn't covered. So I went back and I fixed that. I actually do appreciate it. Um, so please, by all means, come and talk to me. Let's see if we can get an actual conversation going. Tell you the truth, just don't lie to me. All right? That's the only thing you can do that will be a problem. Lie to me. As long as you can be really honest with me, it'll be great. It'll be wonderful. All right. We're at almost 30 minutes still. I guess this is going to be a short premiere, guys. Sorry. You can thank Susan and her murderous policies. Um, Absolutely critical for your get home bag. Water, 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 water. All right. I want to talk about conscientious um, uh, criminal for a moment. In the event of a crisis, stealing water and stealing a couple bags of candy and maybe a couple of energy bars, I get it. Yes, you'll be called to account later, but I get it. All right. Don't like it. I understand it. Stay away from the alcohol. Stay away from the cigarettes. All right. But if you steal a couple bottles of water while you're trying to get the hell out of the way of an earthquake or a tsunami or Antifa burning the city to the ground again, I get it. I understand. You you will be called to account later. That's not nearly as bad as it sounds. When you steal the cigarettes and alcohol, that's a problem. Great way to not be in that position, though. Have a bottle of water or a water bottle. Now, this is my old boot camp bottle. I had this. um, According to my bottle, I was in Mike 155 at the time. That's a ways back. Um, yeah, yeah, that would be 20 years ago. Um, I'm shocked that I still have this thing. Either way, fill your bottle at the start of the week. Drink it over the course of the week, or just have it at your desk or your workstation or your whatever. Um, at the end of the week, dump it. Or the start of the next week, you use it for the first pot of coffee and, you know, drink that water. Sweet cold water, it's not going to kill you. Your first pot of coffee will just taste a little funny, and coffee pot was shut down all weekend. It always tastes funny. Water, water, water. God sakes, and water. Oh, excuse me. Um, Camelback, water bottle. Steal the bottle of water if you have to. Although, if you're in any position at all to pay for it, just do that instead. You'd be surprised, however, under the circumstances, how flexible people can get. Last month, there was a bunch of drivers caught on a freeway for 36 hours, I think it was. There was a U.S. senator who was stuck in that traffic with nothing but a single bottle? Can, excuse me, of Dr. Pepper and an orange? I think it was Dr. Pepper and an orange for 36 hours. Well, also in that traffic jam was a bread truck. And there was a couple in the car right behind it, and they just got a wild hair up their ass. They called the bakery and said, "Hey, there's a truck stuck in this traffic, and a lot of people are out here cold and hungry. Could we take some of the bread and give it around?" And the bakery said, "Go ahead." Technically, well, it's not technically looting, but it's not the best outcome to the situation, right? But compared to what could have happened, it was a great outcome. The bakery got a lot of good press out of it, and people survived. The bread was going to be destroyed anyways. By the time that truck got through, that bread truck got through that traffic, it would have been ruined. So you'd be surprised how flexible people can get all of a sudden. On that note, have a real good rapport with the stores around your house, the place you work, um, and a couple places in between, just in case. All right, there's a Shell station right down the street from where I work. Hell, I know half the employees' first name, and they know mine to the point where one of the employees is trying to help me with something unrelated to shopping there. Hope that goes forward. He's trying. I didn't say he's going to succeed, but we'll see what happens. But there's another one where it's, ironically enough, it's a cigarette shop. The girl behind the counter doesn't even ask me what I want when I come in, even though I disappeared on her for a month. She saw me walk in, got up, started walking over, grabbed exactly what I was coming in for. Not only did she grab the little thing, these things, she also grabbed a big carton of American Spirit Yellows because that's what I normally smoke. Didn't even ask. Didn't need to ask. I have a really good rapport with them. Her husband, the it's husband and wife store. Um, he doesn't see me quite as often, but he does know to go for the little box, and then he starts to reach up towards the big box, and he'll look at me and say, "Which one was it?" Because he sees me about half as often. Oh, excuse me. Have a good rapport with the businesses along your track line. Um, on that note, have a track line. Yeah, I work at a factory. I live at actually another factory. But anyway, I know the most direct route, and I know at least three alternate routes. All of them are city streets. One of them is an alley, partially uses an alleyway. only because the alleyway is the shortcut in a car. I can also take the entire course on foot, and I usually actually do. If one route is closed by, excuse me, some circumstance, like maybe whatever's causing me to be going home right now, I've got one to the right and one to the left. It's easy. I can even I can go mile and a half up, come back around, and come up the back way. How hard is this? It's not hard at all. I know how to walk from my place in Reno to Papa Carey's place in California. Well, I know how to get to uh, the main house. How to walk here to the lake house. I have most of the route. Probably should work on that. Speaking of Papa Carey, well, the reason I'm in YouTube jail, of course, is the medical disinformation that I didn't pass. What I forgot about was that I had a prior offense. Um, talking about Papa Carey, my old stomping grounds, Shasta County, California. Um, I'm not undermining elected officials here when I say that there was a recall and that Shasta County Board of Supervisors is now inverted. Um, I got into trouble because somebody went into Shasta County Board of Supervisors meeting. And from what I understand of the man, he's an asshole, right? I'm an asshole. I know it. He's an asshole. He knows it. Um, he's really, really an asshole. Um, he was railing. He was ranting. I believe he used a couple of F bombs. I uploaded that rant onto YouTube. It was removed, and I was given a warning for undermining elected officials. Uh, okay. You mean like how Antifa was undermining elected officials from 2016 to 2020 continuously and on a daily basis? But let's move on past that for a moment. By the way, continued to do so even after everything else had happened. Okay. Well, I am no longer undermining elected officials' response to a crisis because the Board of Supervisors now is the exact opposite. I am now supporting those elected officials and their way of addressing a crisis. I'm very happy to note that the murderous little bastards are gone. A gentleman I met who is very much a 2A advocate is also running for governor of California now. Flag on the play. I know he's not going to win, right? It's bought and paid for. We all know it. California is a dictatorship. He's not going to win. But it would be really nice to see it. Just to be able to say that an honest man is in an elected office now. So, Brian, God damn it, I hope you win. Not undermining the democracy here after all. I'm showing support to the candidate that I want to see win. Fuck you, Susan. All right, we're at 40 minutes. Wait. Now, I can't screen share when I'm recording. Next week, it's going to look like a live stream. It's actually not. It's a pre-recorded. There we go. Um, that's better. But it will allow you to see what I'm seeing. Right, good. Because Fuck YouTube removed the video with medical misinformation, I don't actually know where I left off. So I'm going to take my best guess. Section 7, Limitations and Provisions of Liability. Any person acting in accordance with the provisions of this act and in good faith may not be held criminally liable for reasonable and prudent acts thereof in the use of any weapon in self-defense or defense of others, nor may be held liable for unintended, unforeseeable, or unavoidable consequences of another party's action. No person acting otherwise in accordance with the provision of this law and the state within which they are located at a given time may be held civilly liable for actions taken under this act, except when said person acted under circumstances wherein they are successfully criminally prosecuted. Manufacturers of any product listed under or applicable to this act may not be held civilly liable in any matter related to this act, to the exclusion of defective products, defects in materials and or workmanship, and foreseeable design defects. No private person or concern may in any way interfere with the lawful business of another private party except as provided for under this act, under the direct order of a competent jurist in the course of a criminal proceeding. Any company that violates this clause may be fined not less than $10 million per transactional violation. Any private person who does so or authorizes another body to do so shall be found guilty of a felony punishable by 20 years in prison plus an additional 6 months per transactional violation completed. No person acting in good faith under this act may be held criminally nor civilly liable for the act of another. Any weapon stolen from a person, their home, or vehicle having been reported as such to law enforcement in a timely manner after discovery and subsequently recovered under whatever circumstances said discovery was made, shall have said weapon returned promptly and shall not face any other ramifications thereof. Okay. In short, if you were acting reasonably and responsibly, you're off the hook for everything. If you were not acting reasonably and responsibly, you're on the hook for everything you did, even if somebody else started it. You can't shoot at a gas main and say, well, it's the other guy's fault. He started shooting at me. Or, well, a gas tank, let's say. One of those big 50,000 gallon propane tanks like they have at the dealerships. Okay, no, no. That's not how this law works. You have to act reasonably and prudently. But you can't be sued, and you can't be held criminally liable because somebody else got hurt in the crossfire when you were otherwise acting appropriately. This is kind of the uh, Nick Melty. Nick Melty? Anyway, case. Clackamas County, Oregon was a Westfield shopping town. A then 22-year-old man was sitting on the mess deck, meeting with a female acquaintance. Was never described as his girlfriend. Was described as a female acquaintance and her child. When a psychopath came through the building with a stolen AR-15, shot 3 people, that qualifies as a mass shooting, at Christmas because he was fucking high as shit. Right. My belief is that he did this to get the police to come down there and kill him. I'll never be able to prove that, but that's my belief. Nick was, as I said, on the mess deck with his own gun. He pulled it out. He met the psycho, and nobody can really know what JJ was really thinking. But he stopped shooting people, ran for the ladder well, and he ended everything right then and there. Right. I don't even know if I can get away with saying the real word for what is seppuku. Right. Um, Nick did not open fire because he was afraid there might be people behind JJ who'd be hit in the crossfire. Here's the real question: was Nick's actions reasonable and prudent under the circumstances? Now, I can't see the world that he saw in that moment. I can't tell you there weren't people running behind. If he saw people running behind, holding his own fire for a moment might have been would have been appropriate. He couldn't see people back there because maybe he was so fixated on the shooter, he would not be criminally liable. He also would not be civilly liable if he's not criminally liable. You can only be held civilly liable if you can be held criminally liable. This is the reason why, if it were up to me, uh, shooter insurance wouldn't be illegal. It'd be unnecessary. They're just stealing your money, right? They're taking your money and not giving you anything for it because you don't need it. You'll never need it, right? I could just as easily take your money um, for an empty air tank. What are you going to do with an empty air tank? Nothing, right? None of you have the equipment to fill an air tank with, or so few of you, it doesn't matter. What am I giving you? Nothing. That's what. Un- Unfortunately or fortunately, Brent and Fix talked me out of it. Well, let's just go ahead and leave it alone for now. And if it becomes a problem later on, we'll address it then. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Now it's there, and I don't feel like fixing it. California, in particular, right now, Gavin, well, Gavin Newsom, possibly the worst human being currently alive, and that's comparing him to the Ayatollah. So I'm being really fair here. He's really an awful, disgusting example of humanity. Um, Wants to apply the Texas abortion law to California gun law. This would make that illegal. The only way you can go after a gun manufacturer is if they had a design defect that they should have known was there. Um, I think it was Ruger a few years ago had a problem with guns discharging after a gun drop. You should never be dropping your weapon to begin with, but either way, uh, they redesigned the gun with a heavier trigger, and all of a sudden the gun dropped. The discharges went away. Okay. They also had a problem last year, or the year before, where the sear on the hammers was breaking breaking off, or maybe it was just rounding off. I don't know. Either way, um, this was a manufacturing defect. Now, Ruger would tell you it was their subcontractor. I know a few of the people who made those blanks. Not my company, another company. But I do know a couple of those people. And they said, no, we told them what was wrong, and they ignored it. Okay, well, somebody's in trouble and it's not me. And I'm happy enough with that. But you could go after the manufacturer in those cases because of a defect in design, material, or workmanship. Um, and the big fuck you. I don't want to read this again. I enjoy reading this part, first of all. No private person or concern may in any way interfere with the lawful business of another private party except as under this provided for under this act under the direct order of a competent jurist in the course of a criminal proceeding. Any company that violates this clause may be fined not less than $10 million per transactional violation. Any private person who does so or authorizes another body to do so shall be found guilty of a felony punishable by 20 years in prison plus an additional 6 months per transactional violation completed. $10 million. People think that's a misprint. No, 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 no. I refer to this as the Chase Bank clause because Chase Bank was on board right away with blocking gun companies from getting money through their service. You, Chase. I actually had to close 3 accounts because my legal businesses sometimes dealt with guns, right? Mandatory carry is not my legal business. This is my hobby. This is the thing I do on the side. My legal businesses are involved in security. So I order gun parts from some company, right? ABC Gun Company, Gun Parts Company, on a Chase card. They see that, they say, oh, that's a gun company. Nope, we're not going to approve the transaction. Oh, I'm not getting my part. They're not getting their money. What the hell? What's going on here? Nope, no more. You will not be allowed to get away with that at all anymore. $10 million per transactional violation. One time I ordered spare barrel. What was it? Oh, okay. Well, the spare barrel, at least. For the Glock, right? That was 3 parts. Oh, the springs. That's right. I had to order some springs. That's 3 parts. $30 million, and it's not just that. There's also the person who stopped the transaction. They are now facing, because it's 3 parts, 20 years plus 6 times 3 months. That's 18 months in prison, stopping that transaction. Now, fortunately for me, I had walked away from Chase like 3 years at that point, I think. Um, went with somebody else who isn't a raging psychopath, and everything went off without a hitch. It's meant to be punitive. It's meant to be excessive, right? If it were up to me, we'd repeal the Eighth Amendment because of the way it's been abused. Everything's cruel and unusual. No, nothing's. That's not what it means, right? That's okay. Fine, whatever. In this case, it's meant to be very cruel, horrifically, and unquestionably. It is meant to be cruel, painful. Unusual? No, not really. It's fines in prison, and you violated the Constitution. What do you want me to say? Um, Also, there's the data processor who stopped the transaction. His supervisor who let him get away with it. His supervisor let him get away with it. We could be talking about 20 people all going to prison because one transaction got refused. Um, Massachusetts has a law that if your guns are stolen, you go to prison. And you go to prison for a longer period of time than the guy who stole your guns. Wait, what? Are you stupid? Well, you won't be going to prison any longer, right? And if and when your guns are recovered, they will be returned to you. San Francisco. Um, Brent used to attend the open carry rallies in California. He was also a Washington Department of Corrections employee. In my heart of hearts, I know that what Brent was really trying to do was to embarrass California. So he'd go down to these open carry um, rallies with his gun open carried. San Francisco police would take it and destroy it. Now he's got to explain to his boss what happened to his gun. Well, my gun got taken from me in California. Did you tell him you were a correctional officer? Yeah, they weren't listening. I don't think Brent did that. I think that he let them take the gun to create a situation where San Francisco would embarrass themselves. Well, he kind of succeeded. San Francisco cut a check to Washington Department of Corrections for a lot of money, right? There was a whole lot of parking tickets in there. Um, That would be patently illegal. They cannot touch your weapon unless they have reason to take it from you. And because all the state laws, except for the conditions of concealed carry permit, are now illegal under Dadislav, it would be completely moot. Now, I know Brent was playing some dirty pool bullshit reindeer games. Okay. He was playing some dirty pool bullshit reindeer games. That doesn't make him wrong. And that weapon was effectively stolen by the city of San Francisco. Oh, I do remember I addressed this subject. San Jose, the city ordinance would be patently illegal, and they wouldn't be able to pass it. It would never pass muster. Remember, Dadislav is a constitutional amendment proposal. So come at me with the unconstitutional shit. Threaten me with what I want. Go ahead and do it. Um, Section 8, warning shots. Warning shots are hereby prohibited except as provided by maritime law. Shots intended to injure are hereby prohibited with the exemption of weapons designed to injure with limited or no chance of death or great bodily injury. Okay, stun guns shouldn't kill you. Pepper spray rarely will, and if you know how to use it properly, it won't. These are not designed to kill, these are designed to injure and incapacitate. They that's fine. You don't always need to kill the guy. Sometimes pepper spray is the better option. Simple as that. Um, Warning shots are expressly prohibited. Flag on the play. Military does use uh, warning shots under certain situations. Right? I disagree with this, but it does work. It is what it is, and that section may end up getting some revision. In the main, warning shots are still illegal. Clackamas scenario. What if Nick had taken a warning shot? Ironically enough, his critics say, well, he didn't really stop the mass shooting because he never took a shot. Right. He didn't take a shot. He didn't need to. Well, there's no proof he was even there. Other than that he was seen on video. No, there's no proof he approached the suspect. There's no proof he drew his weapon. There's no proof of all of the other claims that he makes. It has been floated that if he had just taken one shot, he would have been able to prove, yes, I was there. And I did exactly what I said. But that would have been a warning shot. Warning shots are expressly forbidden. Um, and last but not least, you can't shoot him in the leg. Right. The danger of shoot them in the leg is 99% of the people out there are not skilled enough to shoot somebody in the leg. You're barely skilled enough to get this here, right? That's the reality of the world. This isn't a reflection on you as a person, as a professional. Oh, oh, your competency, your morality. It's not a reflection of that. It's a reflection of human limitations, right? Asking you to shoot somebody in the leg is like asking you to see 30 miles with unaided, without binoculars. Not going to happen. And I wouldn't put you in a position to deal with that, and it gets worse. You shoot somebody in the leg, the bullet goes true and through and strikes somebody on the other side. Now what? Now somebody else is hurt because of your bullet. Even if you were acting reasonably and exactly as the law required, it's still your bullet. I would be asking you to put yourself in an unacceptable position. And it's not going to happen. Right, Section 9, duty to retreat. Caucasian Sasquatch actually asked me about this when I was on his stream about 2 weeks ago. Any person in a place they have a right to be in, not otherwise engaged in criminal activities, shall have no obligation to retreat from same when they reasonably perceive a threat to life or limb to themselves or another party, and may come to the aid of another they believe to be in danger. You have no duty to retreat. And it doesn't matter if it's a public park, if it's your house, if it's a place of business, you have no duty to retreat. Now, I'm not going to go back and rewrite this to include a right to retreat, because I know there's some devious little bastard out there who will take that right and say, well, it's there, so it's implied that you have to retreat. It's not going to happen. Right? You have no duty to retreat from a place they have a right to be in when not otherwise engaged in criminal activities. I don't care what the activities is. And by the way, this is criminal activities. Right? Yes, shoplifting is a crime. Public fornication is a crime. Probably don't want to screw it in the public park. All right. Screwing in your own home, totally fine. Right? It'll all come down to which is the bigger crime, a mass shooting or shoplifting. You do, of course, retain the right to say, no, I cannot defend this position. I need to get behind that tree over there. Or, we need to get out of here. Just get out of here. Right? You have no duty to stand your ground. It's not listed there. That you don't have no duty to retreat. You may choose to come to the aid of another you believe to be in danger. Huge difference there. All right, I've been going just over an hour now. I hope y'all get it. Never fucking lie to me, Susan, because I know everything I said. And for the rest of you, next week will look like a live stream, but it's actually a premiere. Keep calm and men sure carry on.